Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Heron Hill. I'm Sue in the garden today. I have finally come to doing what I've been waiting to do all season long, and that is this sweet potato patch right here. I am excited to see what's in the ground. I've never planted sweet potatoes in ground. They've always been in grow bags or totes or even my raised bed. But I've always had problems with those areas. You know, if you've seen, I'll put a link up here. I had 3 problems this year with some of my sweet potatoes. I don't know that I'm going to have those problems with the in-ground. I may have problems with voles, who knows? I may have problem with some kind of a rot, and I may have problems with splitting, all of which could happen here. Look at how healthy all of this foliage looks. It is just spectacular. There's no sign of it getting old. I wish I had, I don't know, a couple more months for this to grow, but I don't have a very long growing season. And sweet potatoes are, they like warmth. And I'm in the northern latitudes and I don't have a lot of that. So, but what I want to do today is start to dig these up. And it all, of course, starts with cutting off some of the foliage. Now, yesterday I succumbed to taking a peek at what might be under the ground there. And right down here, this was the slip that I planted in here. And I pulled this up and it broke off, but I have not found anything on the ground here at all giving any indication that there's any sweet potatoes in this ground. So I'm going to have to discover today if there is anything down there, or is this just a mass of beautiful green foliage. And if that's the case, then my compost pile is going to be rich. So let's get to it and dig down and see if I have anything beneath the ground here. So as I said before, this was a bed here. I had in this area over here on this side, I had my garlic planted. And I harvested that, and you know, before that I had planted some sweet potato slips just down this way, maybe about 10 feet, 10 to 15 feet. Can't recall exactly how many I put in here, maybe about 10. But the beautiful foliage came over this way and just was lush and gave me great hope of a good crop underneath. So we'll start cutting some of these. Actually, they do pull up rather nicely. And I can just push these over to this side because I didn't have anything planted here. This was formerly garlic here. You can tell here, this is where one was. So I will just leave this here. It'll give me some indication as to where to dig. Okay, the soil is very, very fluffy. I made sure that I forked it up to begin with, made it as fluffy as possible, and didn't walk on it or trample on it at all because I wanted these sweet potatoes to be able to, you know, push on down and form nice big tubers without being constrained by a heavily compacted soil. Now I have a pretty nice soil. This is actually one of those roots from a horsetail fern, my nemesis in my garden. Okay, so I've dug up a little bit right here, and as you can see, here is a little start. I hope you can see that. A little start of a sweet potato right here. The slip was right here, but this is all so far. This does not bode well for this garden. But let's keep digging and we'll see what we get on down here. Some nice juicy worms. See, you can tell the sweet potatoes were trying. You know, as I dig this soil, it smells like garlic. It's because I had garlic here. Now, you can tell that there are sweet potatoes pushing their roots down to form tubers, because you can tell by the beautiful pinkish color of those roots. But I don't see anything at all down here. Now here's where a slip was. So I'm not going to come down on top of it, because how a sweet potato grows, and I can put a little picture there. You don't want to come down too close, maybe about 18 inches, 12 inches to 18 inches around where your slip was. Now, plenty of root system here, but no tubers at all, just that. Now that was a disappointment. Here I have about a 12-foot bed here. And this is just a handful. And it's not even a harvest that you could call it. This is probably the biggest tuber I got. Pretty sad. I don't know what happened. Thinking on it just briefly here, I do have this part of my garden over here does not receive a lot of direct sunlight after the end of August. You can see I do have trees that stretch way up and do shade this portion of the garden. That could have been it. I could have planted these slips a little too late, which may have been, you know, a big part of it. I know they were planted later than my ones in my bins and my bags over in the other raised bed garden area. Other than that, there was no damage. There was no insect damage. There was no rotting. Of course, I didn't get very many that I could even tell that there was any rotting. And there was no voles, no splitting or anything like that. So that was not the problem. And I think I can have a lot of pluses as a takeaway too, if I'm going to look at it in that vein. I planted this 12-foot row here. It was adjacent to my garlic that came out in end of June, beginning of July, which then let these sweet potato vines form kind of a cover crop for this area of the garden, thus suppressing weeds. And it actually grew over into the tomatoes, which are right here, and provided some ground cover for those plants, and I didn't have to fight weed pressure over there. So that's a positive takeaway on this. And also it's given me plenty of greens. I just have an overabundance of greens here, which will go into my compost pile, thus turning over the cycle to make more wonderful soil. So disappointment, sadness, but positivity. So there's not much else I can say except that there's next year. And if you out there listening have grown sweet potatoes and have tried to grow them and come up with a crop that looked like this, let me know down in the comments. I'm going to take away positive things with this. That's all you can do. I have a large crop of sweet potatoes, more than enough, from my raised bed gardens, or my bins, and my bags over there in the other section. So that's what I'll do. So anticipation, a bit of a letdown, but I'll go with a couple pluses on this crop here, or lack of crop. So thanks for following along with me. Give me a thumbs up. There's not much of a thumbs up on the crop, but I know a lot of you have been hanging in there to see what I got out of this raised bed. Thanks for coming along and viewing this video. And so until the next time that I can go digging in the dirt again, happy gardening. Bye now.